pieces for my article that's coming up. He took 2,000 photos of me for this piece, and I guess we'll see what the editors end up choosing. Some of them looked kind of wonky, but a lot of them looked pretty good. I can't wait. But anyways, for the first 700 of y'all tuning into the stream, guys, make sure that we're double tapping away on that phone screen and sharing this live out with a handful of friends. But listen, you guys are the early birds, and as far as I'm concerned, TikTok has really fucked us over. TikTok has shadow banned our account. They have nuked it. They have fried it. They have deep fried it. They have destroyed it. Our algorithm was so good, and then they just started hitting us with bans left and bans right. Okay, so if you want to help us get through the shadow ban, make sure that you are double tapping on that phone screen. Make sure that you are sharing this live out with a handful of friends. Make sure that you are spamming the comment section. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it is the engagements with this live that will really help us send out so we could draw all the crazies in from the For You page into our live to have a discussion with us. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So without any further ado, we're going to go ahead and hop into the discussions. If you voted for Trump and you disagree with me, meaning you do not think he will be terrible for America, one might even say you think he will be good, let me know by spamming MAGA in the chat, as well as you can let me know by hopping in the queue. But let's see what we got. We're going to go ahead and bring up our first guest of the day, Mr. Gigawatt. Hello, did you vote for Trump? He did indeed vote for Trump. Yep. A toilet flushing is identical to saying yes to that question. There's no difference between the sound of a toilet flushing and the sound of an old white guy telling me he voted for Trump. This guy also voted for Trump. That guy also voted for Trump. Yeah. See, he also did it. He also did it. Anonymous, thank you so much for the $15 on PayPal, saying congrats to the NYT profile. Thank you so much, Anonymous. Everybody, please show some love to Anonymous down below. Hello, MAGA. I could already tell you're going to be crazy because Harry is your profile picture.
I was just going to say Parker for president. I've been trolling you this whole week.
Oh my god, well then stop hopping in the queue. Goodbye. Let's go and see what our next guest has to say. We got him loading up in here, you guys. If you are in the queue, make sure that you voted for Trump, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody just give us one moment. Hello, read to filth. I'm going to read you to filth if you voted for Trump.
No, can I say something real quick? No, the Women's March is the weekend before Trump gets inaugurated, so please look that up, Women's Organization and Women's March.
Okay. Thank you so much. I bet those will be organized all around the country. Yeah, that's something good to look into. Thank you for the hat and the mustache. Thank you so much. All right, we're going to move on to our next guest. What's up? You voted for Trump?
I did, actually.
All right. And why is that?
Because of abortion.
Okay. So you think that abortion should be left up to the state compared to being legalized federally. Why is that?
I just believe that abortion, when it's in the context of, like, it's not to save the mother's life, right? And it's just, like, the woman, she wants to abort her child just for, personal reasons. Like, she thinks it won't have a good life. I think that's wrong.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I want to run an interesting argument on you that I don't really touch on a lot. You know that we've actually seen more women getting abortions after it was passed back down to the state for whatever reason. So if your whole issue here is that you think abortion is wrong, you think abortion is murder, well, I mean, hopefully you'd want to minimize the amount of murder that we have in our country. And seemingly, we're sending it back down to the state had the opposite effect. It caused more abortions.
What? Roe v. Wade? Are you talking about that? But if they ban abortion, right? Like Texas, right? If you can't have an abortion, how would there be more abortions?
Yeah, nationwide we see more abortions, and it's probably because when Trump rescinds it back down to the state, more people are thinking about it, less people are optimistic about their future. They think that they're going to lose more rights, and so they are preemptively, more likely to engage in healthcare, even if it would require travel. But regardless of the reason why we see higher numbers of abortion, we do. It's a fact, right? We don't really need to explain it. if your issue is abortion and you want to minimize the amount of abortions being had, the empirics tell us that you could achieve that goal by legalizing it on the federal level.
So you're telling me the
Lisa, thank you for the
legalization, tell me the legalization of abortion is better for keeping abortions down than having it legal?
That's what we see empirically. Having a federal protection for access to abortion points towards lower overall abortion numbers compared to rescinding it back to the state level. Yeah.
So people are breaking the law, or are they just going to different states?
I don't know. That's not relevant. All that matters, more abortions after Roe v. Wade was overturned. If you think abortion murder and you want to minimize that, wouldn't you support Roe v. Wade?
No.
Oh, okay. So what is it? You want more abortions to be had?
Well, what's your source? Because this sounds like bullshit.
Yeah, sure.
Telling me
That's
the
gonna be coming from
legalization
Planned
of
Parenthood and the
abortion.
CDC.
You're telling me having abortion legal is better for having less abortions than having it illegal?
All that I'm telling you is that we see increasing women getting abortions after Roe v. Wade was overturned, when prior to its overturning, we saw less women every year for 32 years getting abortions.
In what states?
I don't know what states. This is just nationwide.
What's your source?
I told you, Planned Parenthood and the CDC. Look it up. Look up abortion numbers by year.
I don't know how accurate that is.
It is accurate. Yeah. Like Planned Parenthood, the people that do the abortions. Yeah.
I don't like that. Doesn't make sense. I doubt people are.
I listen. I don't care if it doesn't make sense, buddy. It's just the facts, pal.
That doesn't make sense.
Okay,
whatsoever.
it's just the facts.
So banning abortion is better for having more abortions by your logic.
Well, when you totally ban abortion in 12 states and you restrict a woman's ability from getting elective abortions in all states, leaving 1 out of every 3 women not having that ability, I think what you're prefacing here more so is just the fact that women's rights are under attack. Thereby, more women are going
How
to
are women's
focus
rights
on
under
their
attack?
rights. Emma, thank you so much for the sunglasses. And out of virtue of the fact
Wait,
that
how
more
are the
women
rights under attack?
Hey, dumbass, I'm actively trying to explain to you
Whoa.
a possible explanation insofar as why more women are getting abortions after Roe v. Wade was overturned, and you're just not here to listen to it. So do you actually want to engage with the argument
rights
or
are
not?
under attack. What rights are under attack?
Yeah, the right to access abortion.
Okay, so why is that so important if it's not in the
Why is that
context of state
important?
life?
Because it's an exercision on fundamental rights, such as that of bodily autonomy and integrity without good reason.
What, the right to baby?
Yeah.
Whoa, so you agree? Oh my God, that's crazy.
So why is killing a
you agree-
fetus wrong?
Because life starts at conception.
Life does start at conception. So why is an abortion wrong?
Because you're preventing the life and taking the life of a human child.
Okay, so it's ending a human life?
Yeah.
So here's my thing. What makes human life valuable?
What makes human life valuable?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just intrinsically valuable, right?
Sunglasses next. No, I disagree.
You don't think human life is intrinsically valuable?
Yeah, no, I think that's bullshit. Are you just saying? So is it our species classification that makes us valuable? Is it the fact that biologists group us all together under the label Homo sapien sapien that makes us valuable? Is it like the alignment of our DNA within our chromosomes that makes us valuable? Like
Well, I'm religious.
Just one moment. Honestly, you're religious. Are you a Christian?
Yeah.
And do you think it's the Christian God that instills value into us?
Well, I believe that like everyone has a soul and everyone is a child of God, so everyone.
So then why do you want to ban it legally? I have a question. Would God ban it legally?
Well, I say religion is a part in it, but outside of religion, I do still think.
Answer my question.
Would God ban it legally? Mm-hmm. Would God not want children to be murdered?
You could say that God thinks it's wrong,
Yeah.
but God certainly wouldn't infringe upon the will or ability of a woman from accessing an abortion.
Why?
Why? Because isn't one of the major assets of Christianity free will? I'm not so
but
sure that
there's a
God would
difference
impede
between
upon the
killing
will of a woman
baby
from
versus
accessing
exercising
abortion.
your free will.
No, God would literally
Okay,
describe
so-
killing a baby as an exercisation of free will. So once again, if we define
I'm
the
not
modern
saying he
pro-life-
wouldn't like allow
Dude,
it.
can you
'cause-
listen to me? If we would
No, can
define
you
the
listen to
modern
me? You're talking-
No, can you listen to me?
All right,
If
just
we would
go, just
define
go.
the modern
Go.
pro-life movement as wanting to infringe on the ability of or will of a woman from accessing an abortion, right, through legislation to make it illegal, is God pro-life?
Yeah, it's pro-life.
So God would infringe upon the will or ability of a woman?
No, I'm saying he wouldn't.
So
like,
then he's not
If a
pro-life.
woman wanted to kill her baby, right?
I don't think you're tracking. What premise are you rejecting? Okay, right? So we agreed that we could define the modern pro-life movement as infringing upon the will or ability of a woman from accessing abortion, right?
So the modern pro-life movement is taking away the ability of a woman to kill her child.
Yes. Would you agree that that is like a fair definition of the modern pro-life movement?
Yeah, I think it's important to.
I just want a yes or no. Is that a yes or no? Yes or no?
Sorry, what was the question?
Yes or no?
No, like what was the question?
I asked you it 3 times and you've already
Say it
forgot
again.
Would you agree that we could define the modern pro-life movement as wanting to infringe on the ability or will of a woman from accessing an abortion?
Yeah.
Yes. Is God pro-life?
Yeah, God's pro-life.
So God would infringe upon the free will of a woman from accessing an abortion?
No, God doesn't go against people's
no.
free will.
So God.
But no, listen,
okay.
listen.
If God wouldn't infringe upon the will of a woman from accessing an abortion, then by definition, God is not pro-life.
No, he's not, because he allows free will. All right, let me
So
ask you
God's
this.
not pro-life.
No, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
No, we're not going to pivot off of that. You just said that God's not pro-life. If
I never
God's
said God's not pro-life. God
did.
allows people to make
You
their own
did.
decisions.
You did. You did say God's not pro-life.
Never
we
said that.
agreed. Yes, you did.
I didn't say God's
yes,
not pro-life.
yes,
I
you
never
did.
said that.
Yes, you did. Did we agree
didn't.
that? No, yes, you did. Can we agree? Did you agree that pro-life is defined as infringing upon the will or ability of a woman from accessing abortion? Did you agree?
Yeah, legally, it's
You did.
That's true.
You did. That's okay. And did you agree that God would never infringe upon the will or ability of a woman?
No, because they have free will, but that doesn't mean that God.
So you
believes
did
it's-
agree. So you did agree. Okay.
Yeah, but
so
you're
if
saying-
if
all right.
the category, if definitionally speaking, right? If definitionally speaking, the pro-life movement necessitates you to desire to infringe on the ability or a will of a woman from accessing an abortion, right? If that is necessary to be definitionally, right, presumed and described as pro-life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you agree, admit, and concede that that is a desire that God would never possess, right? Well, then God lacks a necessary desire to consider him pro-life. What does that mean? He's not pro-life.
No, he still considers it to be a heinous action, but he doesn't involve himself in worldly affairs because he allows people to have their own free will.
Now that's fair. You could say that God doesn't like abortion,
Yeah.
but God still thinks that women should be able to make them choice for themselves.
No, he thinks anyone should be able to make the choice. Like, say if I wanted to like kill my mother, I know I would never do this. I'm just saying like a crazy hypothetical. God would allow it to happen because he allows people to exercise their free will. He doesn't want everyone to be like robots who just do whatever he says. But that doesn't make me killing my mom, like in any way, that doesn't make God for me killing my mom just because he didn't interfere.
Well, I don't think that you're understanding my argument. And I'm gonna be honest, man. It's really sad that you're not understanding my argument.
How am I?
Because I've
I
made
just
it
gave you a
incredibly clear.
perfect example of how your argument
Because the point is,
false.
no, you just
Yes, I
showed me
did.
how my argument could apply to other
You're trying to
things besides
apply God
abortion.
not interfering with people's free will to him not being pro-life, which is wrong. He doesn't interfere in anybody's free
with
will.
all due
and you're trying to
respect,
use that as a
I
crutch,
described-
saying Jesus
I
Christ
described it with
isn't
you.
pro-life.
Because he isn't, definitionally speaking. Did we agree
Well,
that in
he's
order
God.
to...
You're trying to compare an omnipotent being to a human being.
Okay, isn't this what the church does with the gospel, saying that you should act in accordance with Jesus' will? And what
Yeah, you
what
should,
would Jesus
but
do? Bracelets?
God-
So
But
if
it's
you should act in
different,
accordance,
dude, it's-
if you should, but of course it's different. It'll always be different. So you just conceded that you should act in accordance with God's will. Okay, God's will would right, for a woman to have an unrestricted ability and access to abortion, right? And definitionally speaking, this would classify God as being pro-choice. So assumptively, as you would say that you should act in accordance with God's will, you should be pro-choice too.
No, because God allows people to exercise their free will, but that doesn't mean we have to. Because say there's a psycho on. No, listen. Say there's
But,
a psycho on the street.
I want to ask you a question. Are you doing anything wrong if you allow them to exercise their free will?
It depends. Are they harming another human being?
Sure.
So they are. If they're harming another human being,
In what
I
sense would it
believe-
be wrong for you to restrict
wait,
their
let
free
me ask
will
you
from
this.
harming? No, let me ask you this. In what sense would it be wrong for you as a Christian, right, to not restrict one from harming another?
How it would be wrong for me?
How is it wrong for you to not restrict one person from harming another, assuming that you're Christian? Because if it's something that God shouldn't do, why is it something that you should do?
Because God is an omnipotent, all-powerful being. And for him to restrict someone's free will or to basically be saying that he's creating robots. Because if you imagine you're God, right? And you have control over everyone and you choose to not let them make their own decisions, there's no love, there's really nothing. Everyone's just a robot who's running on like a program. But it's different for me.
What the fuck are you saying? Oh, so now you're just talking about like God and free will?
No,
sure,
yeah.
There's
how does that not apply?
there's 100 billion million. Well, I mean that doesn't explain insofar as why it wouldn't be wrong for you. Sorry, it wouldn't be wrong for God, but it would be wrong for you. I don't think that inevitably like Christians would have any justification for that. I think one of the like essential problems that we see within the pragmatic application of Christianity is the criminal justice system. All right, and I think that this issue is especially prevalent when we're discussing issues such as these. I ultimately think that there is no justification, right, for the implementation of a criminal justice system in the persecution of one for harming another. All right, given Christianity, there's no justification in your religion to say that you're doing something wrong if you weren't to like stop a woman from getting an abortion.
Thou
But maybe
shalt
like
not
another.
kill.
That does, yeah, but
Yeah,
so
it's a
you're saying-
commandment. It's one of the big 10 commandments, buddy.
But you
Like,
are.
what are you talking about? You
are
said Christianity.
You are
Wait, did you just say
confusing that-
Christianity doesn't have anything in it that says harming another is wrong?
No, I said that you are under no obligation in accordance with your Christian faith to stop others from doing things that are wrong.
Why not?
Why not? Yeah, what fucking commandment tells you that if you
Yeah,
don't
there's no direct
persecute and stop
there's no
one
direct
from harming another,
commandment,
you're
and I
doing
don't have it
something
off the top of my head.
because there's no justification for the criminal justice system under Christianity. And I actually want to bring up another point. If you knew that banning AR-15s would save the lives of more innocent children, would you support a ban?
Well, how many lives does AR-15s protect?
They definitely.
It's
I mean,
irrelevant.
it's relevant because if you protect 100 lives and lose 30, then
Yeah, no,
what
I'm
would
asking you. I'm ultimately at. Well, I mean, yeah. So, I mean, in some senses, right? Women getting an abortion can save their own life as well. But regardless, the question maintains: if you knew that banning AR-15s would ultimately save the lives of more innocent children, all things considered, would you ban them?
So, are you asking me in a hypothetical world where AR-15?
It's not a hypothetical world. It's a real world, but that's a whole different.
Okay,
conversation.
but
Just answer the question. Stop being.
The problem with it is that it also saves lives of innocent children as well.
Yeah, but assuming
So-
it would save the lives of more innocent children by banning them, would you support a ban?
I mean, yeah, because that's hypothetical, though.
Okay, so you're telling me that you'd be pro gun control if you knew that
In a
ultimately lead
hypothetical
to better
world where
outcomes?
guns were killing more people than protecting them.
That's not a
Yeah, but
hypothetical
that's not
world.
the reality.
It is the reality. Go ahead
Yeah.
and go on your computer and look up.
Oh my God.
Go ahead and go on your computer and look up every town gun research. Right, what you'll see is that the more gun control a state has, the
If there
less
was-
gun deaths per
if-
100,000 citizens they have.
Dude,
And this
if the
is
US were to lose all their
maintains
guns-
consistency across the board.
Dude,
There's
I want you to think for a second.
Dude,
I want you to
I'm
think
giving
for a
you
second.
empirical evidence to
No,
justify
I want
that
you
what
to
I'm
think
saying
for a
is
second.
correct.
If the U.S. were to lose all their guns,
Bro,
do you
this is
understand
unreal.
how many people would die as a result of that?
Do you understand that what I'm saying is that the pragmatic implementation of common sense gun reform ultimately leads to less gun deaths per 100,000 citizens?
All right. Just what are you talking about?
You heard me. You heard exactly what I said. Do you need me to repeat it? I will.
Yeah. Repeat it. Honestly, just repeat it.
Phenomenal. Yeah. So the implementation of common sense gun reform leads to less gun deaths per 100,000 residents or citizens of our country, and this is ultimately true across the board. And we see a positive correlation between the amount of gun deaths per 100,000 citizens and more / stricter gun control. And if you're interested in my source, you could find this on Everytown Gun Research.
Isn't there like which amendment does it say you have the right to bear arms?
It's
Or is that an
the
article?
Second Amendment.
Second Amendment. So are you saying we should violate the? Wait, are you saying we should violate the Second Amendment?
No, I'm challenging your own internal. Also,
No,
no.
you
Common
just
sense gun
said that.
control. Gun control doesn't violate 2A. Would you say that Donald Trump is anti-constitution because he passed red flag laws under his presidency?
No.
Okay, so then seemingly we could agree that gun control doesn't necessarily violate the Second Amendment.
I'm not as educated on you on that one part. So when you say gun control, what do you mean by that? Like restricting guns unless you have a license?
I mean, this could be
Yeah.
there's a multiplicity of forms of gun control. One form of gun control would be like a red flag law. Another form of gun control
Is
is
that the red flag?
a
law
red flag law is essentially like if someone like is assumptively a threat, and you could take their guns away, and with like a court order from a judge, and then there'd be proceedings to determine.
Hold up, give me one
regulation
sec.
on this gun due to a multiplicity of factors. You could also have background checks. There's so many. There's so many forms of gun control. Yeah. Anyways, in the meantime, guys, make sure that we're double tapping away on that phone screen, and everybody be
sorry
sure to
about
like
that.
in the meantime. And Lisa, thank you so much for the galaxy.
Sorry, what did you say? I
CC, thank you so much for the money gun.
wasn't there.
No worries. Can you name one Trump policy that he's going to implement that you think will be good for America?
Yeah, he was the tariffs. I think
Oh,
tariffs.
okay. So tariffs are bad. And the
Why are
reason that
tariffs
tariffs are
bad?
bad is because they cause inflation and they destroy American companies that are predominantly reliant on exports. And there's other tools that we could use to incentivize domestic production that don't create those same inefficiencies.
Yeah, but they create a ton of jobs.
They don't, right?
Why don't they create jobs?
Well, I mean, you said a ton of jobs. We actually see that my alternative of raw investment into industries is more efficient for domestic production of goods and more American jobs than tariffs.
Yeah, but
and they don't create
isn't the
same
purpose of a
efficiencies.
tariff? Isn't the purpose of a tariff to
Promote more like U.S. production.
Yeah,
of certain
it
products.
is, but it just has bad side
So
effects.
wouldn't that not create a lot of
Give it a
jobs?
subscription. Yeah, but it has bad
Wouldn't
side
that not
effects
create a
too.
lot of jobs?
It does create some jobs, but like what I'm explaining to you is, right? Imagine you have cancer and there's two medications.
Did he
that can-
implement any during his 2016 presidency?
He did. He implemented tariffs on China, and you know what that did is they plummeted U.S. agricultural exports, bankrupted American farmers, leading Trump to have to bail them out with $28 billion. But do you mind if I finish what I was
bankrupted
saying
American
without an
farmers?
interruption from yourself? Yes.
All right, you can go.
Yeah, so like imagine you had cancer and there's two medications that could cure your cancer. Medication number one cured your cancer, but it also like gave you terrible side effects, like you threw up every morning for the rest of your life. Meanwhile, like medication number two also cured your cancer, but it didn't really have any negative side effects at all. Like what medication are you going to take?
What do you mean? Like, what one doesn't have side effects?
Yeah, right. And like we'd even say if like a doctor were to recommend the medication that does have side effects over the one that doesn't have side effects, they'd be a bad doctor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if we have this issue that we want to reindustrialize America and create more American jobs, and the one way to solve this issue is through tariffs that also create inflation and destroy American producers. Mads, thank you for the subscription.
Wasn't
And then the
inflation
second-
like 9%?
One moment. And
Under
then
Kamala
we,
and
we,
Biden?
we could talk about that later, but that's not related to tariffs. And then the second way that we could
Kind of is though,
Okay, no, how?
because of inflation.
Explain to me how the 9% rate of inflation under the Biden-Harris administration that was
No, I'm not
caused by
saying that.
COVID
No,
in
I'm not saying that was
relation
caused
to
by tariffs.
global inflation everywhere in the world was related to tariffs.
I never said it was related to tariffs
Okay, then why did you bring it up?
because I said inflation is related to tariffs, and you're saying that Trump's going to be bad because of inflation.
Yeah, because
But
what he
you-
wants to do is going to cause inflation when there's other things
Yeah,
that he
but
could do.
you say
to increase
Trump's gonna be
domestic
bad 'cause of
production of goods
inflation, but
that won't cause
The person you
inflation,
promote had the worst inflation in years,
but they didn't cause it.
They didn't cause it. So like the Ukraine war had no like causation on inflation.
No. So what caused inflation in our own country?
It didn't. Oh, that's not true actually.
What caused inflation?
Ukraine war.
Okay, okay, one
Yeah,
second.
'cause other-
the Ukrainian,
No.
the
Countries
Ukrainian
are-
war and sanctions on Russian oil caused some inflation in the sense of oil prices, but did our current administration cause the Ukrainian war?
Well, aren't other countries like dependent
Answer my
on other
question.
countries?
I answer my question. Did Biden and
was
Harris
your
cause
question?
the Ukrainian war?
Yeah, I think they could have stopped it, to be honest. I don't think they caused Putin
How could
to,
they have stopped it?
I think way too passive. They were extremely passive.
Okay, so you're gonna sit here and you're gonna tell me, Dr. Pepper, thank
Yeah.
you for the rose, and Lisa, thank you for the manifesting.
They were way
that
too
sending
passive.
$30 billion to Ukraine in the sense of money and weapons, while also upholding a red line in the sand with Russia, as set by the Budapest Memorandum in 1994, was too passive. But then you'll support Donald Trump's approach on it, which is literally revoking all funding and all support for Ukraine, bending the knee to Putin, presenting the same
that's
agreement that
different,
he
though,
will.
because-
And that's not passive.
No. At this point,
What do you mean
at
by
this
passive?
point-
They like the left have been the ones
my God.
aggressively standing against Russia.
No. I'm saying at this point, right? It's best just to withdraw because they're not part of NATO. So there's no point in staying there now after all the aid we've given them. And like,
Wait, so you're
Putin's
saying that
already
we
in
should
the war.
defend them if they were a part of NATO because we'd have a contractual agreement to?
I mean, we don't have any reason to support
Answer
them.
my question. So you're saying that if they were a part of NATO, we should defend them because we'd have a contractual agreement.
If they were part of NATO, we would have an agreement that we would protect them if they were attacked.
So having
Not
an
part of NATO.
agreement to protect Ukraine is a sufficient reason to be giving them money and weapons?
No shit. Having an agreement to protect a place is a good reason to protect it. Did you just fucking
You're
say
going to
that?
walk that back in 5 seconds because we do have an agreement to protect them. In 1994, we signed the Budapest Memorandum with Ukraine where we said if they denuclearize, right, and give up their nukes, then we will protect them if they're invaded. So in other words, we literally do have a contractual agreement with Ukraine to be protecting
yeah,
them
but
right now. And according to your own words, Lisa, thank you for the galaxy, that is more than enough reason to be giving them money and weapons. So you actually just justified Biden
pretty
and
sure-
Harris's stance towards
No,
Ukraine.
I don't know if I'm right about this, but my professor said that they're actually like planning on like making nukes and they were threatening to utilize them
Who? Ukraine?
against Russia.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They haven't made nukes. They don't have nukes. The Budapest Memorandum stands.
Yeah, but weren't they going to make like some form
Thank you
of
so much for the 1 month.
mass
sub.
destruction? Weren't they going to use some form of weapons of mass
It doesn't
destruction?
matter. It doesn't. Do they have nukes? No,
Why does that not
because they
matter?
don't have nukes.
But it achieves the same purpose.
It doesn't fucking matter.
Why doesn't it
Because
matter?
that's like, what? Because it's not, because the,
It's a weapon of mass
because
destruction.
Oh my God, Lisa, thank you for the gem gun. Because the contractual agreement that we have signed with them is for the denuclearization of their same country. And no, right,
Wait, what was the
non-nuclear
contract?
weapons, right, do not have the same amount of destruction as nuclear weapons.
What was the
It's called
contract?
the Budapest Memorandum.
So is that like just for like all time, or is there like a time limit on it?
It's for all time, okay? Right. It's we enter into a denuclearization
So if they get
agreement with
invaded-
Ukraine, and we say that we're going to defend them if they're invaded by another country. The Budapest Memorandum doesn't have a date of expiration now.
Why would we? I guess because of the nukes.
Well, I
But
mean,
why
so
don't
yeah,
other countries-
it's not one that has like a temporal expiration. It's like if they don't have nukes, then we protect them. If they do have nukes, we don't protect them.
Okay, so if they were to get nukes, we would just like have a
Yeah,
reason to withdraw.
yeah, sure. Why not? That works. Yeah, you're right. That they would violate the agreement, and we would no longer have an obligation to protect them.
Yeah, but is there like a certain amount we have to give them?
No.
So then why do we give them
Do you
so
think
much
that
in
$30
respect to
billion
other countries?
is a lot, buddy? Would you
Compared to other
support
coun-
spending one
Compared to other countries.
compared to other countries? Are other
Yeah.
are the
Why are
other
we giving-
countries that we're giving money fighting wars?
No, I'm saying
like
if
are
places-
the other countries that we're giving money actively getting aggressed
No,
upon and
that's not-
invaded
that's not what I'm
by
saying.
a foreign
That's not-
aggressor? Such
Yeah,
as
we're going
Russia?
to worry about money being spent that way, but we're not going to be worried about giving money to rich people, right? Like
No,
the
I'm saying
hundreds of
why
billions
don't
of dollars
other-
Trump gave to rich people.
No, I'm saying why don't other countries that are at more of a like a geopolitical risk, like why don't they give more money?
Why
are
does the
we
United
ones who are
States
being,
spend
like,
so much
hero?
money on military bases around the world? Look at the $900 billion a year military spending. If you have an issue with 1/32 of the overall spending under the Biden-Harris administration in terms of military spending, why don't you have an issue with the other 31
No,
out
I
of
have a
32?
problem. I have a problem with giving a ton of money to a nation that doesn't really affect us at all when we have homeless veterans in the streets. That's
Okay,
what I have a
so
problem
where have Republicans been advocating for social services? Where? Seriously?
Oh, yeah, this will be a
When?
great question. Watch this. Watch this.
I'm not really
Name
sure, but I
one
don't
piece
think
of
Democrats
legislation.
should.
Watch this. Name one piece of legislation ever pushed through Congress by Republicans designed to help homeless people.
I don't know.
So you could sit here and you could act like this virtue signaler that cares, right, about
No,
the
I'm just
homeless
saying that-
starving. One moment, don't talk while I'm speaking.
study,
Don't
like,
talk
all
while
these
I'm
little
speaking.
parts.
Toxic
I'm just
waste.
using
Thank you for the.
my
Don't talk
head.
while I'm speaking. Toxic waste. Thank
Let's
you for the
go.
money gun. Don't talk while I'm speaking. Vanessa,
Don't
thank you for
talk
the money
when
gun
I'm
as well.
speaking. You're
Do I need to
5'6",
say it
buddy.
again?
You're 5'6".
5'6". No, I'm 5'10". But you know, like what
All right,
I
yeah.
am 5. I mean, do you want me to be 5'6"?
Shiver me timbers.
Yo, Kristen, thank you so much for the $50 on Venmo, saying in recognition of your unwarranted advocacy and support, here's a donation. Kristen, that is so incredibly kind of you. Everybody, please show some love to Kristen down below in the chat. Thank you so much. It means the absolute world to me. Please show some love to Kristen, you guys. Thank you so much for the $50 donation. Seriously, W Kristen's down below. But I just want to ask you a question. So are you getting mad that I'm intellectually steamrolling you? So then you just wanted to like call me 5'6"?
I don't think so. I don't think you're intellectually steamrolling me.
Oh, well then why do you result down to really weak personal insults?
Because I mean,
thank you for
if
the
you just look at it, I think what's that number above me? Like it says 400, 500.
Good job.
I'm in
you
a,
can
like a
read.
primarily Democratic live, and I still have
Megan, thank you so much for the $20 on Venmo, saying you can't fix stupid, but I really appreciate you trying. You don't know what you just caused.
Is he like trying to like rage bait people
No,
into
I'm
like
just saying,
donating
like, this
to me?
is your live.
Yeah,
this
yes.
is mainly
But
Ben's.
Megan, thank you so much.
And I still have
I
half
do
of
really
what
appreciate
someone who
that,
has a million
Megan.
followers
Everybody,
has.
please show some love to Megan down below in the comment section. Dog, do you understand that's like $2?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, if you look at Parker and you guys are pretty known by his chat.
Didn't I like
assume,
just
right?
join the live?
Yeah, but I'm saying I had like 40
2 minutes ago.
I had like the same amount when you joined,
What?
and now I have like 600.
What? Okay, I have a question. What is one policy that Donald Trump influenced to get passed during his first term that benefited members of the low and the middle class more so than members of the top class?
What's a policy? I mean, all I know is that grocery prices and gas prices were freaking low.
Yep.
yeah,
So
but
vote
that's
for
not
the guy that's
policy.
going to tariff them and cause them to go up in price. You know, it sounds
No, because
great.
that creates more jobs, which is better.
That
for the
creates
economy.
more jobs. Where did you learn? You understand overall, it would decrease the amount of jobs in the economy because it decreases the size of the U.S. economy. The export jobs
No,
get
it doesn't.
killed.
Also,
Right, because
like,
they replace
No,
retaliatory
there's more
tariffs on
jobs
us.
created, and then there's more taxpayer
it needs
dollars.
to be pointed out that Trump today
whole.
agreed that his tariffs will cause inflation.
So
Maybe temporarily.
economy is better off as
What
a
do you mean?
whole,
Where did you
but
say
there's
that?
a
'Cause
lower
I feel like you guys
GDP.
kind of pull random shit out of your
No,
ass.
I could give you a direct quote. Just go on Google, type in. Let me find the direct quote. I'll go to my Twitter account because I made a post about it earlier.
Oh my God, you're citing your Twitter account, Dean?
Oh yeah, I'm setting the Twitter, buddy. Get over it.
Dude, look at this clown.
Yeah, so just look up Trump, and I quote, Trump sticks by tariffs, but no guarantees on inflation. He said, I can't guarantee they won't cause inflation. There's a direct quote.
Well, what is he saying? Like how much inflation is going to go up?
Yeah, like if you're curious, experts have estimated that the 25% tariff on Canadian imports of oil and gas
Thank you
will
so much for the
increase
fireworks.
price of
Thank
your
you so much for
gasoline,
pushing it.
from anywhere from 40 to 70 cents a gallon. And Kari, thank you for the $10 on Venmo saying keep rage baiting. I'm not a rage baiter, but I do appreciate you for
Wait,
the $10.
so actually, I have a question. Is there actually, never mind. Never mind. Yeah, I appreciate the good evening. Thank you so much. I do have
Sorry, what question were you going to ask?
yeah. Can you name 2 Trump economic policies you like?
Dark Core, thank you for the fireworks.
To Trump economic policies. Oh wait. What was that one? There was one on like it had something to do with he gave like a ton of taxpayer dollars to like the middle class.
Courtney, thank you so much for the $25 donation on Venmo.
He gave a bunch
Holy
of taxpayer
crap,
dollars to the
Courtney.
middle class. 83% tax cuts went to the top 1%. Secondly, as it relates to this, if you gave most of that money to the middle class, it would have been a good bill. We would have agreed with it. We would have been totally okay with that. But most of the money didn't go to the middle class individuals. Actually, him replacing with tariffs shifts the burden from a progressive tax system through the current income tax structure to a regressive tax structure because it negatively disenfranchises lower to middle income individuals.
I do really appreciate you for the love, Courtney. Everybody seriously show some love to Courtney down below.
Carrie, thank you so much for the $10. Thank you so much. Also, like, since he said, like, oh my God, I have like half of what Parker does, it's now basically almost 5 times. So that was really funny.
Based.
Sorry.
Look at him. You're very small. You're very small. Tremendously small.
Yeah, but how do you justify like grocery prices and inflation?
Yeah.
And
Tariffs would cause grocery prices to go
No, I'm
up.
saying
Inflation
under
went
Biden-
up. Inflation went up around the entire world. Africa, Asia, South America, Central America, Europe, everywhere around the world experienced inflation. Okay,
Yeah,
you
but
understand
not
that we
how
had the
much?
fastest recovery from inflation to similar degrees that we did. If you look at global inflation rates, according to the St. Louis Federal Reserve, you're going to see the inflation rates are practically the same between the United States and average global inflation rate.
Didn't we have 9% inflation?
That's 1 month over month. I'm referencing annual inflation rates.
I'm saying, what?
And
Didn't we have, like,
you can even look at month to
9%
month. There were countless nations that experienced significantly more inflation than the United States, right? Because of a global trend in inflation.
What, are we just talking about the inflation at the start of the Biden-Harris term? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's saying it's caused by them. Yeah.
Oh, man. So how did the Biden-Harris administration cause that inflation?
Because they didn't do anything with the Ukraine war. And on top of that,
Wait, so I have a question.
What would Trump have done in
Wait,
response?
I have a
doing
question. I
nothing
have
to
a question.
stop
So
it?
you're saying that the Ukrainian war caused the inflation in the U.S. Do you also think that Ukrainian war caused the inflation everywhere else in the world?
no, I'm saying, but it had an impact on it.
Okay, so it had an impact on it. So did Biden and Harris also cause the inflation in like Germany and France and Italy?
I mean, if they stopped the Ukrainian war,
Jace, thank you so much for the $2.
yeah, I mean, they're interdependent.
Okay, so Biden and Harris literally caused global inflation because they didn't do enough to prevent the Russia-Ukrainian war. That's your stance, right?
Yeah, and then and if they're not going to do anything to prevent it,
Okay.
they should
This
do
and
it at
that.
the
Thank you so
bare
much for the
minimum.
$10 on PayPal. This and that. I do appreciate you for the love. This and that. Everybody, please show some love to this and that down below in the comment section. It means a lot
Gary,
to me.
thank you for the $10.
So-
Thank you so much.
Let me ask you this question: what should they have done more?
Well, this was like my thoughts on it. So basically, instead of stopping the Ukrainian war, they just let it happen. They let
No, I'm asking
invade
you
Ukraine.
specific. I'm specifically asking you what they should have done.
He's coming from the assumption that Trump just being there
No.
would have
No,
led to it
all
not
I'm saying-
happening.
I never said that, but all I'm saying
That's
is
what you think, though. You didn't
No.
have to say it.
I didn't say that. All I'm
you
saying is
answer my question?
they either could have threatened Putin, right,
Putin.
to not invade Ukraine.
How do you threaten them with what? Nuclear war?
No, not nuclear war. Just saying that.
So what do you
we'll,
threaten them with?
like forces,
You understand that we did
What
threaten.
force?
You understand that we
U.S.
did.
forces.
You understand that we did threaten Putin, right, with sanctions on Russian products, as well as supporting Ukraine with the rest of NATO to fight against Russian expansion through the use of weapon donations
No,
and
but-
money. Let me finish.
All right,
Right.
just go.
Right. So, in any type of threat beyond right diplomatic sanctions and support for Ukraine,
Yep.
I believe would be involving ourselves in the war. Would you say that he should have threatened to put U.S. troops down? We should have threatened to bomb them.
Yeah,
No,
that's-
I'm saying I don't
No.
think Putin would go through the trouble of, going to Ukraine and fighting all our forces just for the sake of getting Ukraine. If he knew there was going to be more of a greater risk, I don't think he would have.
Okay, so you're saying you're saying threaten Putin with world war.
No, I'm not saying
So then
threaten
what
force.
we-
So then what are you threatening?
Yeah,
with?
what
You're saying
what
like
should we have
don't
threatened
do it, please stop. No.
No, world war means that all the countries in the world are involved.
No, that's not what World War means. But Oh my God, Catherine! Thank you so much for the $50 donation on Venmo, Catherine. Holy shit,
W.
everybody,
Catherine.
please show some love to Catherine down below in the chat. Let's get at least 500 W Catherines down below. That is Catherine with a K. It means the world to me. Thank you so much. And Cora with a $50 donation on PayPal saying, cook this man, Dean. I appreciate you, Catherine and Cora. Everybody, please, 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 please show some love to Catherine and Cora. You guys are absolutely awesome. Thank you guys so much.
This and that. Thank you for the $10 on PayPal. Thank you so much.
All right, so what were you gonna say?
Jacqueline, thank you for the motorcycle. Do really appreciate you for the love, Jacqueline.
Holy shit.
We're curious on what you think the Biden-Harris administration should have threatened Russia with to prevent their invasion of Ukraine.
I'm saying this is what we should have done, right? There's two things we could have done. We could have either been overly aggressive or overly passive. And the Biden-Harris administration took like a weird kind of middle ground to that.
No,
we were
I don't,
aggressive enough to give
I don't know
a
you're
ton
hearing,
of money.
I don't know if you're hearing my question. I want you to tell me exactly what they should have threatened them with, not just a mere statement such as they should have been.
All right,
overly
yeah,
aggressive.
I get it.
One moment, and the reason that I'm asking you this very direct and specific question is because I believe this is just your way of obfuscating to kind of draw these dotted lines to create a half-assed argument on how they could have prevented their invasion, when in all reality, you have no substance to your position, right? So I want you to
Why not?
prove to me that you have a substantive position by telling me exactly what the Biden-Harris administration should have threatened Russia with that they didn't.
I think we should have before they completely invaded. I think we should have, threatened to go to war with them, but not nuclear war. Just like,
What are you talking about? What are you? So threaten
Not
World
like
War
nuclear
III.
war.
So threaten World War III. Speranza, thank you so much for the $10. And
yeah,
Catherine with the
that's actually-
$50 on Venmo. Thank you so much, Catherine. Can we get some W's for Catherine in the comment section right now? Thank you so much, Catherine.
And this, sir,
Yeah, I don't-
is
I mean,
and this,
Putin's-
sir, and this, sir, is why you are not president. Okay, right?
All right.
So the position that the U.S.
Well,
should have threatened world war on Russia
Yeah.
was inevitably NATO would have gotten involved.
Yeah.
Inevitably.
Because, all right, well, answer me this. What are the odds of...
Dude, please.
Bro, I spoke for 10 seconds.
Inevitably, BRICS would have gotten involved, and it would have been a full-scale World War III, where
Assuming
millions
Putin
of
invades.
people would have died, and that is our leverage for a threat. Right? That's either going to mean one or two things, right? Putin calls our bluff, Putin invades Ukraine, and World War III starts.
And then the U.S. looks like weak.
Yeah, and I mean, in world...
Or Putin doesn't invade and it's all prevented.
Yeah,
But
which would be
that's it.
unlikely.
Which
We
is
would
the
definitely
more
call the
likely
bluff
scenario.
because wait, you think that
No,
he thinks
he
that they're
wouldn't.
actually going to do it?
No.
Gia,
well,
thank
think
you so
about
much
it
for
like
the
this.
$7. Thank you so much, Gia. Thank you.
That's like
Imagine
going
you're
to that's like going to a casino.
All right,
and
can I
putting-
speak?
No, that's like going to a
right.
casino and putting your life savings on black. Like
No,
seriously,
it's not like that
that
at
is a
all.
serious gamble.
No, because going to a casino, you have 50-50 odds. I think it's like 99-1 odds here. Because imagine you're Putin, right? And you're sitting on your chair, and then you have the U.S. and NATO at your doorstep, and you're like, do I want to invade this country that really doesn't have any value to me and risk my entire country being decimated, my economy being decimated, my people being killed? Like, any person
I think that Putin would have called our bluff
No, he wouldn't call our bluff.
because no way the U.S.
Because
would
there's
be
way more
willing
risk for him.
millions of no.
What does
There's
he have
way
to
more risk
gain?
for us.
No, there's more risk for him. Because he's
no.
by himself.
No, Putin would call our bluff because why
No,
in the
he
hell?
wouldn't call our bluff.
You won't even let me give you my argument.
All right, give me your argument.
Putin would call our bluff because
Why don't we
in
just
the-
threaten to nuke them then?
Because if you threaten to nuke someone, that means you could spiral the end of humanity.
Okay, well, you understand that a war between Russia and the United States directly could could cause nuclear war, right? Like,
Yeah,
are
but
you
it's
taking that into
so
account?
low. No, because the chances
What
of
the
that
fuck?
are so low.
Do you know anything about the Cuban Missile Crisis?
Yeah, I do.
Did that almost start a third world war that would lead to the death of like all humans?
It almost did,
but
but
We got there and there was nothing there.
And would you agree that the U.S. threatening a third world war would have similar tension?
No, because the
Cheyenne, thank you so much for the $10 on PayPal. I do appreciate you for the love. Thank you so much, Cheyenne. You are sitting here telling me that a direct threat of a third world war from the U.S.
Lisa,
to
thank you so
Russia
much.
would create less tension than the Cuban Missile Crisis in the Cold War, where we never made a direct threat of war.
No, 'cause
like a
he's
direct
not
threat
gonna
of war
invade.
from America to Russia would lead to higher global tensions than any conflict in which we have
Sure,
seen
it would
since
lead
the
to
Second
tensions.
World War.
Dean, I got to join back on my phone.
Lisa, thank you so much for the-
iPad's
Yeah,
not
the day
charging.
after Kamala went to interview with
back.
Putin,
Kamala, by the
Putin
way.
invaded Ukraine. So
you wanna know
you're a
fun
retard,
facts?
actually.
Oh, and now you're using the slurs. But before I kicked you,
Yeah,
I just
buddy.
wanted before I,
120 pound piece.
before I kicked you, I just wanted to go ahead and inform you that she actually never spoke with Putin. She never spoke from anyone from the Kremlin. You could fact check this on PolitiFact. You could fact this on Reuters, and you could fact check this on any mainstream media outlet. In fact, the only reason you think that she spoke with Putin or anybody from the Kremlin, for that matter, is because that's what Trump told you. But I think the fact that you're willing to reiterate such simple misinformation that's so easy to debunk and then slur at the end demonstrates your intelligence, demonstrates your self-control, and demonstrates your ability to operate within a cordial,
muting.
fact-driven conversation. But we're going to go ahead and move on to our next guest. And I mean, that's just the reality, folks. Like, this is how these people handle themselves in these conversations. It's not about the facts. It's not about being aligned with the truth. It's not about becoming a smarter, better, brighter person. Or it's all about defending what you currently believe in. Like, it's goddamn John Jones in the UFC, and you're willing to put everything behind him. And it's not about an ultimate seeking of a higher truth or understanding. Justin, what's going on, man?
Yo, what's going on, dude?
Michelle, thank you so much for the motorcycle. I do appreciate you for the love, Michelle. Everybody, please show some love to Michelle down below in the comment section. It means the world to me. Thank you so much, Michelle.
So, Dean, why do you have Trump derangement syndrome?
I have Trump derangement syndrome because grapists really derange me. They make me angry. Don't they make you angry?
No, actually, Trump is actually going to be your daddy in 48 days. And it's going to be
like
fun.
Wait,
Wait,
so is
George?
Biden your daddy right now?
No, he's not. And you know something too? It's going to be really
fucking
funny
idiot.
too because let me tell you something,
let
right?
him
Trump
talk,
is
let
going to
him
lock up all the radical left lunatics, and it's going to be fun to watch you libs cry.
Wait,
Did you just say he's gonna lock
Who is
us
he?
up?
Do you think he's gonna lock me and Dean up? He's gonna put Peen in prison?
No.
No, you want to know something? Okay, so funny thing too.
No, wait.
I've actually met Trump in real life, and I actually have his number, so I can just give him a text and put you guys on the list.
You're rage baiting.
Do it, please.
Okay, I'll text them right now. Bet.
Hey, wait, Justin. Seemingly you're pretty familiar with Trump, right?
Huh?
Seemingly you're pretty familiar with Trump, right?
Yeah, I've actually met the guy in real life.
Name one of his policies that's good.
Dude, I agree with everything he does, bro.
Name one.
Name one? Bro, fucking no tax on overtime and no tax on tips and shit, bro.
Okay, I have a question.
And he's gonna give me a tax cut.
I have a question, Justin. So the CBO is estimating that overall his tax policy will cost close to $7 trillion. Where's he going to generate that money from?
What?
CBO has estimated that
The Committee for Responsible Federal Budget indicates his plans specifically
CRBF.
are going to cost $7.5 trillion over 10 years.
Jin
How's
in,
he
thank you
going
for the
to afford
galaxy.
that?
Bro, what the fuck are you talking about, yo? I mean, get the fuck out of here, bro. Like, what the fuck is this bullshit?
Totally trolling. He's
We'll
totally
slow
trolling.
it down. I think he was trolling about the Trump number part, but I think he is actually a Trump supporter. I'll slow it down.
If he's
So-
that dumb, I would actually think it's really sad.
Okay, so Trump wants to cut taxes, yeah?
Yeah, he's gonna give me tax cuts, bro.
And tax cuts cost...
How much do you make, Justin?
Dude, that's none of your business, bro. I make a decent amount every year.
Do you
I
make
mean,
under 400K? Sorry,
Yeah.
that was the wrong question. I meant to ask, do you make under 400K? I apologize. That's an invasive question. I agree. So if you make under 400K, the tax cut was going to apply to you more under a Harris administration.
Bro, dude, you're fucking lying, bro. Cause my family benefited from the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, bro, and we don't even make more than 400K a year. You're lying.
I understand, but what you're not understanding is that the tariffs that he's going to implement would cause more of a price to go up for people who are lower than 400,000, right? Specifically, than the tax cuts would specifically save them, unless they are like in the very highest levels of income.
That's right, bro.
Okay, yeah. So I actually don't buy any of the left wing narratives.
Bro. I'm not a left winger. I'm actually a far right white dude with another podcast screaming into my mic, telling you.
I think Justin is trolling.
Telling you how to feel.
Dude, how am I trolling, dude? I'm literally not. The fuck? Like,
tone of voice.
Huh?
Your tone of voice gives it up, man.
Nah.
Dude, bro. Okay, watch this. Dude, bro, dude. Trump bad, bro, dude. Tax policy regressive, bro, dude. Harms average American, bro. So, dude, support Harris, bro.
Dude, what the hell are you doing?
Democrat Party's base, bro, dude.
No, it's just like it's just gonna be.
Did that break through? Did that break through to you?
No, it really didn't. And the really thing is,
do I got to say it in like a white tank top with like my bicep showing? Maybe
Dean,
I got to.
Dean, you're not fluent in bro language.
I'm not. Joy, thank you for the hand arts.
Maxine, thank you so much for the $10. Thank you so much, Maxine.
Do I gotta start talking like Alex Jones?
Yeah.
Do I just need to pull up like a random picture of like some government figure or like some like random document from like the federal government and start screaming about how like a conspiracy theory, then just say the same thing like 100 different ways and then just add on at the end that it's good to be a Democrat and that'll break through?
What?
Oh, you did. The joke was too deep. You didn't even get it.
Nah, because the thing is, I don't even care about these fucking jokes, bro. I mean, I'm just really excited for Trump to just like to prosecute all the libs, bro. It's gonna be funny.
You just said you don't care about a joke, but then you just told a joke. Trump, prosecute libs, yeah, Trump.
Wait, Trump. Are you actually gonna be? Are you gonna be at the inauguration on January 20th? Just curious.
No, I won't.
Okay, yeah, because I there's been a word saying that you will, and if you will, bro, I'm totally willing to like just
the fuck are you gonna do?
I can't do it, Dean. I can't do it.
Fair. I was curious on what he wanted to do to me.
I can't.
I feel like he was about to like threaten me.
brain rot.
Hey, for the 8,000 people in here, if you're enjoying this stream, you guys make sure to double tap. And if you want to support me or if you want to support Parker, our Venmos, our PayPals, they're in the bio. It says like VNP. That's my Venmo and that's my PayPal. Your guys' support means the world. I love you guys so much. We're going to get our next guest up in here. Spam Mag in the chat if you want to come up and debate. Hello, Carissa. Did you vote for Trump?
Oh, no, I did not mean to join. I'm sorry.
No, you're good, Carissa. Don't even worry about it. So everybody, make sure to check if you're in the queue, and if you're there accidentally or you don't mean to be there, you could just usher yourself out, quite frankly. But let's go and get our next guest up in here. Oh, and hey, Jessica, thank you for the $10 donation on Venmo. Jessica says, I really appreciate you, Dean, and everything that you stand for. Jessica, you are phenomenal, and I really appreciate you for the $10 donation. In fact, chat, please show some love to Jessica. W Jessica's all around. What's up, Karina? Did you happen to vote for Dumpy Tumpy?
I did.
How old are you?
I'm 24 years old.
Karina, dear God, now why?
Well, because in my opinion, I saw what the country looked like when he was in office. Not a single U.S. military personnel was killed while he was in office. There were no wars.
You understand that what you just told was a lie?
He had 65 service members die in conflict under his administration. What are you talking about?
Do you know what the conflict was, though?
Yeah, so there was Syria, there was Afghanistan, there was 400.
Yemen.
There was plenty of different things we can reference. Well, we're talking about like U.S. military deaths, but so like in terms of that, what you're not acknowledging is that more people died under Trump's administration who were service members in conflict than under the Biden-Harris administration.
Can we also just point out that like none of this matters because at the end of the day, Karina, what you said was wrong. You said 0 people died, 65 did.
Okay. We'll say we misspoke on that one. In terms of that and the military, I think that you should definitely do your research on that because I don't believe this. I don't know where you're getting that number from. However, I don't believe as though that's an accurate number. And I don't believe as though the deaths that had happened or were happening were conflicts that were caused by Trump. If that makes sense. And anyways, just to step away
so
from
you
that.
you understand that we have something called the Defense Casualty Analysis System, and this comes from our federal government, where you can see the casualties related to the Department of Defense.
Okay.
And what I would like to ask you to do is to go on Google, search up the Defense Casualty Analysis System, which is straight from the DoD, and you can see, right, in 2017, 2018, 2019, and 2020, that we had 65 service members die.
And how many service members did we have die from 2020 to 2024?
Okay, we had 13 from hostile action die.
So from 20 to 2024, how many people were going with?
13.
16.
16.
So you guys are saying two of the numbers.
That isn't. What's up?
Okay. So anyways, stepping away from that, back to the original question of why did I vote for him, I also saw the way the economy was.
Stepping back from the point that you lost on?
No, I said this before you guys went into that whole thing. I said stepping away, but you guys interrupted me.
Do you mind if I ask you why you want to step away?
It's just a various amount of things. There's a lot of different reasons, and I'm not as educated on the military reasons as I am on other reasons and other things.
So you could educate yourself by going to this website that I'm attempting to show you, Defense Casualty Analysis System. You could see how many people died.
Okay.
Tammy, thank you so much for the $20 on Venmo. Thank you so much, Tammy. Thank you. Can we get some W's for Tammy in the chat? Thank you so much, Tammy.
So here's my question to you. Since you guys are asking people why you voted for Trump, why did you vote for Kamala? Why do you think that Kamala is a better president for America than Trump will be?
Kamala, by the way. And the reason why Kamala is better is because she influenced past good policy like the Inflation Reduction Act, right? The infrastructure bill that's bipartisan. The CHIPS
But do you understand like the depth in those acts and how they work and like
Yeah, I could actually tell you the provisions, right? Can you tell me 2 Trump policies he influenced to get passed?
Hey, say that again.
Tell me 2 Trump policies he influenced to get passed.
He influenced to get passed?
Yeah.
I don't understand what you mean by that.
2 Trump policies that he influenced to get passed in Congress. He can influence Congress, tell them they should pass this bill. Can you tell me 2 Trump policies?
No.
Okay. Wow. Karina, I got a question.
Okay, let's hear it.
How can you support someone that doesn't support you? And the reason I ask this question is very important. Donald Trump has a long and incessant track record in history of lack of an attention to the thoughts, wants, desires, needs, and attentions of women and girls, including but not limited to sexualizing a 10-year-old, raping an adult woman, boasting about grabbing women by the P word, boasting about walking into the changing rooms of half-naked minors. So if he can't support your wants and needs out of the Oval Office, why do you think he will in the Oval Office?
So sexualizing a 10-year-old, where did that come from?
That was in 1992 when he said that he'd date a 10-year-old girl in 10 years. And Taylor, thank you for the $10 donation on Venmo. I appreciate you so much for the love, Taylor. Everybody, please show some love to Taylor down below in the comment section. Taylor, you are phenomenal.
So can you ask the question again? I'm confused again.
Donald Trump has never restricted or cared about the wants, needs, desires, and attention of women. Okay?
I disagree with that.
So then why did he rape a woman? Why did he sexualize a girl? Why did he boast about walking into the changing rooms of teens at Miss Teen USA without their consent? Why has he demonstrated through his behaviors since his teenage years that he definitely doesn't give a shit?
You're saying that he raped a woman.
Grape. Say grapes, please, but yes.
He was held civilly liable of sexually abusing E. Jean Carroll, forcibly penetrating her against her will, by a jury of 9 people unanimously.
Civilly liable when?
Yep.
In 2022, quite frankly.
I think it was 2023.
Okay.
I'd have to check though.
Yeah, one of the years.
I don't Okay. I think if he was civilly liable and that was really the case, or if he honestly had done anything illegal, then them trying to get him on 34, 36 different counts of felonies.
34.
Okay, I said 34 first. If we're going to get down, I don't have a computer in front of me, so I'm not reading statistics off like you guys are.
We're not reading off statistics either.
And
He
that
literally
also
just
wouldn't
held
be
up
something
his
that's
computer
bad.
and showed everyone on this live that he was reading off statistics.
I gave you a source for your claim because you said that it sounded like bullshit.
Okay.
That's all.
The other things
That's
that we just said
all.
weren't off like a reading it off. Raiden, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you.
So what's your contention
What do
here?
you
Donald
find-
Trump has raped a woman. Donald Trump doesn't care about women, so why do you think he cares about you? Boom. Lisa, thank you for the galaxy. I really appreciate you for the love, Lisa. You are phenomenal. You are great. Thank you. Thank you, Lisa. It's a very simple syllogism. We'll give Katrina some time to ponder. By the way, Katrina, I just thought I'd let you know, unless you could see me and Parker, meaning you're inside of the TikTok app, we can't hear you. Like right now, we can't hear you. If you're trying to talk to us, we can't hear you. Okay? But she's
not trying to talk to you. I was not saying anything.
I just wanted to let you know.
I appreciate that.
So what's your response here?
I think that you guys should do more of a research than what the media is telling you. I think that you look at the media and you look
We need to
at
do more research. You couldn't even name two Trump policies. Like, what are you talking about? We need to do more
my
research.
gosh.
What the hell are you saying? I could explain to you the policies Kamala Harris influenced get passed, the provisions within them, the effect it had on the American people. Appreciate that mustache. And you
Star,
couldn't
I
even
think
tell me
he's done
two
that.
fucking policies, and you're gonna lecture me on how I need to do that.
Also,
Thank you so
I
much
just-
for the $15, and I hope you have a quick recovery on the hangover. Thank you.
I just want to point it out, Katrina, that it like me and Parker's job is to be as well researched as possible, and there's probably very little people. Riley, thank you for the galaxy in America that are more informed on the thoughts, opinions, and positions of the right than me and Parker. I just want to get that out there. So, like, when we have someone come up and not know that there was 65 casualties under Trump's admin, not know one of his policies, not know that he was held civilly liable for rape, not know anything about his past, and then for you to tell us that we need to do more research, this sounds like a beautiful example of the Dunning-Kruger effect.
All right. You guys, all I gotta say is
You're assuming
All vibes.
You're assuming MAGA knows what that is, Teen.
Well, Katrina, he cut you off. That was very rude of him.
Very rude.
Very rude. What were you trying to say there?
I just said we'll just see how the next 4 years go, and the fact that he got every single swing state has to have said something.
Yeah, 89% of Germans voted for Hitler.
Okay.
Does that like
And
mean
Trump's
that like
been in office before. You think Trump's Hitler?
yeah, does that mean like it's justified just because it's majority of people?
I think that America's finally starting to wake up, and open their eyes. And I think
To what? To vibes? Because I'm going to be honest, Katrina. You don't have a damn argument. Like there's not like a reason, a set of reasons, a principle, a fact, a policy, any nuance. Are you just like you're just like America's waking up to the vibes, bro? Is that your position?
no, not the vibes. I think they're just waking up to the corruption and all of the shit that's going on within the food and the drug
and that's why you're voting for Trump, right? Or you
Personally,
voted for Trump, sorry.
I voted for Trump personally because I would like to buy a house within my 30s.
That made no fucking sense. He's gonna make housing more expensive by tariffing lumber from Canada.
Just like he made housing more expensive in 2016, because from 2016
He wasn't even president in 2016. What the fuck are you talking about?
It's from 2016 to 2020.
He wasn't president in 2016. That was Obama. So you thought the economy was good in 2016, and he wasn't even president, so he inherited a good economy.
Okay,
So Kitchen, here's the difference. So Donald Trump, he didn't really pass anything that influenced the pricing of houses one way or another during his first term. He didn't. Dakisha, thank you so much for the 5 gifted subs.
The economy
Thank you so
was
much.
good. That's why the housing was affordable. That's why gas was $1.85 and not $3.63 and $8 in California.
I'm going to be honest with you. He didn't do anything too grandeur to impact the price of things negatively. We just saw the same macroeconomic trends continue under his first 3 years.
You can't say that, though. You can't say that you do so much research and you know so much about all this politics stuff and then say that he did absolutely nothing for the economy.
You couldn't even tell us 2 policies. What the fuck are you talking about?
Can you tell us one
I
policy?
will admit that I'm not fully researched on it. I don't know everything. You guys
Why did you vote? Then why'd you vote?
Because I know for a fact that I don't want Kamala. I know what my life has looked like in the past 4 years.
Can you name me one policy that Kamala Harris supports?
Elena, thank you for the superpower. And C with the roses. And Allie with the $10 on Venmo. Allie, thank you for the love. Everybody, thank Allie and show them some love. And Zara with the galaxy as well. Thank Zara. Show them some love. You guys are great. And Nancy with the $5 on Venmo as well for being awesome. Show Nancy some love in the comment section.
Okay, you're good now?
Totally fine. Continue.
Awesome. Thanks. I'm saying I know what my life has looked like for the past 4 years under Biden's administration, and I know what my life looked like under Trump's administration. And I know that my life... Yeah, go for it.
The point of these lives is to get you, Thomas, thank you for the sunglasses, to think critically about politics, at least critically enough to make better decisions moving forward. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm upset, I'm mad, or I'm angry with you for just assuming that some of the reasons your life has been worse during the last 4 years is because of the Biden-Harris administration. I mean, how could I be mad at that? Your life has felt worse because of these things, and the right has spent billions of dollars on convincing you through advertising and propaganda that it was the fault of Biden and Harris. I get it. But the point of this live is to explain to you how just because something can happen in our country doesn't really mean that the president necessarily caused it, and you have to think deeper about what they could have possibly done to cause it. And when we explore that issue on what Biden and Harris could have possibly done to cause things such as inflation, reduction in savings, increases in debt, etc., we don't see that they could have done anything to cause those. In fact, it has good policy.
Anything to do. So if you're saying that, and we're going to come out with that and educating stuff on that, why don't we talk about the border?
Okay.
Do you want to give us your take on the border and Biden's administration?
Sure. So we all know that there's been a border crisis in our country. That's an undeniable fact. What caused this border crisis was the expiration of Title 42 onset by COVID, which was a total shutdown of the border for about 2 years. We knew that there was going to be an onset of this crisis once it expired. It was natural, normal, and expected. So many people were coming to our southern border because of economic travesties onset in their own country by COVID, similar to that in the U.S., but because their economies were much smaller and significantly worse than that in the U.S., it impacted them to a much larger degree. And then the adequate way that we should distribute responsibility for the crisis to the Biden-Harris administration isn't the fact that it happened because it was not caused by them. It was how they responded to the crisis. And I think that they responded to the crisis pretty good. They responded to the crisis by attempting to influence bipartisan legislation through the House and the Senate to resolve it.
I think that responding to the crisis was good by shuffling in millions and millions and millions of illegal immigrants and handing them money.
They didn't do that.
Why did Donald Trump call for people in Congress to undermine a bipartisan border bill?
Say that again?
Why did he call people in Congress to undermine a bipartisan border bill?
I didn't hear you again, but I'm not Donald Trump. All I heard was the start of that. I can't answer that. Not being
Why did he call people in Congress to undermine a bipartisan border bill? The galaxy. Nancy, thank you for the $3. Thank you.
Tammy, thank you for the $20 donation on Venmo. Tammy says, please put this idiot in her place. She's making me angry. Yo, Tammy, based. I appreciate you for the $20 donation on Venmo. If
Priscilla,
you agree
Maya,
with Tammy,
thank you for the $1.
Push from W. Tammy's down below in that chat. And Christia with the $25 donation on Venmo saying, good evening, how are ya? Christy, I'm doing great. It's been a good day. We'll talk about it later. Show some love to Tammy.
Christia, thank you so much for the $25 on Venmo. Thank you so much, Christia. Can we get some W's for Christia in the comment section right now? Thank you so much.
Show some love to Christia. And Mariah with a $2. Kira with a $1. You guys are based. And yeah, okay, I guess we'll just go ahead and slam dunk it with a big gotcha moment. We love those here.
Joshua, think of it $10. I want you to check Discord.
Great. Katrina, I got a question.
I got an answer, maybe.
Do you think that if there was an undocumented migrant that showed up at our southern border with prior felony convictions, he had raped a woman, he had called for a termination of our constitution, and he tried to overthrow our government, that our border patrol should even let him in?
Multiple illegal immigrants.
So maybe I should ask my question, right?
Raping young girls on runs in the middle of the day.
Well, maybe you should let me finish asking my question.
Other young girls. So yeah.
Okay.
They're letting them right in. They're not even asking because they don't care.
Katrina, I got a question. Are you a natural-born U.S. citizen?
I am, yeah. My mom.
Yeah, so you're statistically 2 times more likely to rape a woman or commit a violent crime than an undocumented migrant. Should we deport you?
So here's the thing. That's
oh shit! Terrible. Silence. So should I finish asking my question now?
Okay, sure. Go for it.
Thank you. Round of applause. So, if there was migrant that showed up at our
southern... You haven't interrupted me 7 times since we've been on here. More than that, actually. But
Are you keeping count? Are you keeping count? Keep tallying it.
I will never interrupt you again. I understand how much it sucks, and I apologize from the deepest of my heart. How could I ever? I am a monster.
You are the most ungenuine.
Can't even say it correctly.
Ingenuine.
Disingenuous. And Dean can't even do it, dude. Jesus Christ, man.
Ungenuine. So Katrina, you gotta unmute your mic there. I guess while your mic is muted, I'll ask my question. If a migrant showed up at our southern border at a legal port of entry to come into our country, and they had 34 past felony convictions
That they all came back not guilty on. Mind you.
Are you talking about Trump?
Yep.
No, his 34 felony convictions are guilty.
They're all not guilty.
So that's not true, Karina.
Okay. Yes, it is. Look it up. It is true.
If you look up Trump's 34 felony convictions on New York State's website.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What do you mean? What do you mean he's not guilty?
So
Girl,
this is
have you lived under a fucking rock? Are you Patrick Star?
Like, this is me in my head right now, but I'm like keeping the composure. So you could actually be convicted and not go to prison because you haven't been sentenced yet. But we shouldn't be like calling in to question the fact that he's been convicted of these felonies, because you can see the conviction form on New York State's website. You could see it on their court website. That's right, Swag. Thank you for the galaxy. Sarah, thank you so much for the $10 donation on PayPal, saying thank you for putting these MAGA idiots in their place. I appreciate you for the love, Sarah. If you agree with Sarah, show her some love. W Sarah in the comment section. And Lonnie with the $10 saying thank you for using your voice for what's important. Don't just show love to Sarah, also show some love to Lonnie. And Elena with a $25 on PayPal. Oh my God, Elena. It means the world to me. That is ALENA. Show love to Elena. Show love to Lonnie, and show love to Sarah. And if you want to show love yourself on Venmo or PayPal, they will both be found in my bio under the V and the P. I get 100% of the proceeds.
Alexa, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you so much.
And Claire, thank you for the $5 as well. So, Karina, are you leaving or are you doing your thing on Google?
Katrina, Jesus Christ, Dean.
No, she
Kira,
mispronounced Kamala Harris's name, so I'll mispronounce her name. I am petty.
So scared for this country. Okay.
You're scared for this country?
Yes.
Girl, you voted for a held liable sexual abuser who bragged about grabbing women by the vagina without asking. And you voted for a guy that restricted women's access to abortion. Thank God they did those things. What the fuck are you talking about?
No, thank God I voted for that person, for Trump.
That is disgusting.
I thank God that I have the ability
to stand behind those things?
I was able to go vote for Trump.
You stand
No,
behind those
obviously
things?
I don't stand behind those things.
Kristen,
okay,
thank you for the $30 on Venmo. Everybody spam W Kristen in the chat. That is CHRASTIN. Thank you so much, Kristen. And Barbara with a $50 donation on PayPal for being cool. Holy shit, Barbara. You guys are going crazy today. I want to see 100 billion trillion million W Barbaras and W Christians in the chat. Nothing but love for Barbara and Christian for at least the next 10 minutes. You guys are phenomenal. And another Christian, thank you for the galaxy. And Spice Johan, thank you for the galaxy as well. You guys are going crazy today. Holy shit. On a real note, seriously, thank you guys so much.
Kira, thank you for the dollar. And Emily with the $28. Thank you so much, Emily. I really appreciate the $28. Thank you so much, Emily.
Holy shit, Emily with the $28 as well, saying cooker. W Emily in the chat right now, down below. W Emily, all day, every day. Kristen, Barbara, show them some love. Now, I completely derailed your conversation with Katrina Parker. I would like to take accountability for that. I'm going to sit back. I'm going to put my ass on mute. I'm going to drink my ass.
I honestly don't even remember, to be honest with you.
Okay.
What we were talking about.
Okay. So we'll go back to my question that she never answered. So if there was a migrant that showed up at a legal port of entry at our southern border, Katrina, they had 34 felony convictions. They had raped an American woman. They had sexualized American little girls, and they'd boasted about wanting to, remove articles from our Constitution, and they wanted to overthrow our government. Do you think that our border patrol should let them into our country?
Why do you think Trump wants to overthrow our government?
We could talk about that, but I'd like you to respond to my question first.
What was the question?
Katrina, if I repeat the question, will you promise me you will listen?
Yes.
Thank you. So my question is, if a migrant showed up at a port of entry at our southern border with 34 prior felony convictions, they had raped an American woman, they had sexualized American little girls, they had threatened to overthrow our democracy and rig an election, and called for the termination of our Constitution, do you think they should be let into our country?
If all of those things are true facts down to the core, not based on media, not based on any outside sources, not based on any BS, then no, obviously not. But it doesn't even matter because no one's checking at the border. Oh, don't interrupt me. It does not matter because no one's checking at the border. No one has any idea who's coming in through the border. Anyone and everyone.
Okay, just more message. Just literally,
and they're
just more
getting handed money to go do whatever the hell they want.
We'll address the misinformation. We'll address,
and they're the ones that are They're actually graping.
Yeah. So
but you don't even have a civil case determination.
I want to allow you to address all of your misinformation tidbits from your parents and Fox News next. My point is, you're saying
it's not misinformation. Was there not a girl in Florida?
No, what was misinformation was you said that we don't have active border patrol, and I want to go ahead and continue.
Because we don't. Because I have multiple. I know.
Then what the fuck is DHS?
Illegal immigrants that talk about how it is down there, and
okay. So would you
people that have actually come over the border within the past 4 years?
After I make this point, I want you to address all of this shit next, but my main point was, so you're saying if someone was born in Mexico with the qualifications that I gave you, you don't think they should be let into the country, but if someone's born in New York with the qualifications that I gave you, you think that they should be allowed to run the country. You are full of hate, you are full of prejudice, you are full of misinformation, and you are full of jack shit. Okay? It's a fact. You have been taught to hate. You've been taught to demonize. You've been taught to persecute. You've been taught to oppress. You've been taught to dehumanize. You've been taught to spread misinformation from the bottom of your goddamn soul, because that's what Trump wants you to do, because he knows if you're scared, if he knows if you're angry, if he knows of your hatred, he knows that he has your vote. You are the victim of a crime. But I want to give Parker an opportunity to address every single point of misinformation that you now shut up.
And then
I want to give Parker an opportunity to address every single point.
Just let her
of
respond, and then I'll respond to her.
Okay.
But Jesse, thank you so much for the $30 on Venmo. Thank you so much, Jesse. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jesse. And Barbara with the $50 on PayPal. Thank you so much, Barbara. Can we get some W's for Barbara in the chat as well? Thank you so much, Barbara. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
And Eloise, thank you for the $12 and the 21 cents on PayPal, saying lots of love for you and all that you do. Everybody, please show some love to Eloise down below. And Sebastian with a $5 on PayPal, saying put this MAGA to sleep. And Jocelyn with the $8 on PayPal. And Jessica with the $10. You guys are phenomenal. Thank you for your love. Go ahead, Katrina. I hope that you will actually respond to the things that I said instead of ignoring them, pivoting off of them, and just rambling on with more misinformation.
I honestly have no idea what you said. I was so concerned on the fact that I was in mid-sentence and you interrupted me. And what I was saying before was you preach all nice and respectful. Meanwhile, this entire conversation, you've interrupted me numerous amounts of time, muted me when I'm in the middle of saying something that you think actually has any substance behind it. You mute me right away.
Preach. I think I need to be held accountable.
Say that again? Like again, just now, I'm still talking, still mid-sentence, and just I have
behavior is unacceptable.
I have treated you with nothing but respect this entire conversation. I've waited for you.
I'm sorry. Dean will mute his mic, and I will have a conversation with you. Just go ahead, give us an argument.
What do you want to argue about? What do you mean by an argument? What would you like to give?
Like what were you trying to argue that you want to make a point of?
I know that Dean is going to mute his mic, but Jesse with the $30 on Venmo. I appreciate you for the love, Jesse. Everybody spam W Jesse down below in the comment section. And Jesse says mute her again. Bam! I appreciate you for the $30 donation on Venmo, Jesse. Everybody show some love to Jesse for the paid mute. Now I'm going to go back on mute and listen. I am a good boy.
Muted me again, so are you gonna mute me again, or are we gonna stop interrupting and stop muting and stop playing this whole game?
Go ahead, yeah, make a point that you were trying to make.
In terms of what we're
whatever you were arguing, whatever you'd like to address. If not, I'll bring up an argument. Okay. Would you vote for someone held? Actually, would you let someone held civilly liable of sexually abusing a woman get access to a gun?
If that person is
thank you for the whale diving and this and that. Thank you for the $5 on PayPal.
Oh my god, I cannot do this anymore.
Anna, thank you for the $5 on PayPal.
Okay. Are we done? We're good? I don't want to start talking for 5.5 seconds and be interrupted, and that's what's been happening the entire time. And I have really bad ADHD, so yeah, I haven't been able to stay on track because every time you interrupt me, I completely forget what we were even talking about. My mind goes on to a million different other things.
Okay, would you
I don't even remember. Again, now here we are, I don't even remember what we were just talking about.
Would you let someone held civilly liable of sexually abusing a woman get access to a gun?
If that person was actually found guilty in court for sexually abusing a woman and spent time in jail, then yes.
No, wait, so if so, prior to them spending time in jail, you'd let them be president, even if they were convicted in a criminal court?
If they were found guilty by law, then no.
Okay, so like in a civil court, if they were held liable unanimously by a jury of 9 people for sexually abusing a woman, would you let them get access to a gun?
I would have to know more about the situation.
Okay, 9 jurors unanimously indicated
I would have to know more
that they forcefully penetrated a woman's vagina against her will.
As I said, I would have to know exactly what we were talking about.
I'm giving you exactly what you're referencing. So held civilly liable unanimously by a jury of 9 people for forcefully penetrating a woman's vagina against her will, right? And you're saying maybe they should be able to get a gun?
Sure.
Really? What if the victim was a child? Held civilly liable of sexually abusing a child, right? Would you let them get access to a gun?
Sure.
Really?
I'm just going off and saying yes to anything right now. It really doesn't matter what anyone says.
No, like what do you actually think? Because like that's a really crazy view. To say that P3DOs that have raped children and been held civilly liable of it should be able to get access to guns.
I think that people that are found again, guilty by law, no, should not be able to get guns.
Held civilly liable. Like I'm giving you a specific example.
I'm saying if they spent time in jail.
Okay, so again, there are P3DOs that have raped children that were held civilly liable of sexually abusing children in the context of New York because it's past the statute of limitations for criminal courts to try them. You're saying those people who raped children who are held civilly liable of it unanimously by juries, they should be able to get access to guns?
Sure.
You think they should be able to?
Jesse, thank you for the $31 on PayPal to mute her again, Karina. Go ahead and say something real quick.
I'm good.
Thank you, Jesse, for the $31 donation. Show Jesse some love down below in the comment section. Zara, thank you so much for the galaxy. W's for Jesse. W's for Zari. And Dario with a $20 donation on Venmo saying, calling out disinformation and exposing the cult of personality. Keep up the great work, Dean. Thank you, Dario, and thank you, Jesse. 1 billion trillion W's for Dario and Jesse down below in the comment section right now for at least the next 5 minutes. You guys are the best. Quite frankly, continue.
I don't know what we were talking about. Not a clue. Sorry, it was the interruption for the 57th time in the past 5 minutes. I really don't know. I have bad ADHD. I said
Okay. I interrupted.
Forgetting what we're talking about.
I interrupted, so it's my burden to like relate what was going on. Right? Parker was specifically asking you if someone was found guilty by a jury to have raped a woman. Do you think they should have access to a gun?
Do you want to ask it 8 more times?
I just want to clarify for clerical purposes. Was your answer yes, or was your answer no?
No, yeah, she said that she would let people held civilly liable of sexually abusing children get access to guns.
Just to clarify, Katrina, is that your true position?
No, obviously.
Okay,
it's
so
not
they
my
shouldn't
true
be.
positions. I just have no.
Okay. So just for clerical purposes. So Parker, here's okay. Shut up. Here's the point where we're at.
Thank you. Again,
Katrina does not think.
Back to you saying earlier, don't use slurs, don't use the R word to the other person that was in here. When you are the most you have been nothing but disrespectful the entire time.
You called me an idiot, and I told you to shut up.
Okay.
You called me an idiot, and I told you to shut up.
After you, the entire time, again, have been interrupting me the entire time.
Tammy, thank you so much for the 20.
Okay.
And muting my mic mid-sentence, muting my mic when I'm talking about anything.
Seriously, though.
Parker, you got smited while you were reading that donation. I think you may need to read it again.
Oh, I did? I got smited? Yo, Tammy, thank you so much for the $20. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you. And Stacy, thank you so much for the $20 on Cash App. Thank you so much, Stacy. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Stacy.
Okay. Katrina, I got a question. Is that fair?
Yeah, sure.
What do you do to a soccer ball?
You kick it.
Bye. Thank you.
Moving on to our next guest, guys. If you're enjoying this stream, make sure that we're double tapping away on that phone screen. Make sure that we're sharing out this live with a couple friends too. All right. The stream today so far is just going phenomenal. For the 10,000 people in here, if you haven't already, make sure to hit that follow button. Follow Parker as well. We do these lives every single day, baby. And then additionally, if you want to support me, if you want to support Parker, if you want to donate to us, our Venmos and our PayPals, our Cash Apps are all in the bio. If you click on, my profile picture in the top left-hand corner, you will see my bio. It will say VNP, then at Dean Withers without the E. And we get 100% of the proceeds on those platforms that go directly to us, as well as you could attach your name, as well as a message, and we could read it off and give you a shout out on live. But we got our next guest loading up into the box right now, so everybody do just give us a minute. Elizabeth, thank you for the $5 on Venmo, saying my cheeks are about to get clapped. What the fuck does that mean? Is that a threat? And Monet, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. And Lillian, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. I do appreciate you guys. And Stacy, thank you so much for the $20 on PayPal. Everybody, please show some love to Stacy down below in the comment section while we're getting our next guest up here. That is incredibly generous of you, Stacy, and I appreciate it so much. Thank you so much, Stacy, for the $20 donation. Now, please go ahead and comment MAGA in the comment section if you voted for Trump and you want to come up here and you're ready and willing to debate. It does typically kind of take us a minute to get these debates underway, and that is just an easy way to kind of bypass a lot of those troubles. Breen, I do appreciate you for the hand hearts. So go. We got our next guest loading in right now. Let's go and get Mr. Eric up in here from the chat. He's loading in. Hello, Eric. How old are you?
18.
And what year were you born in? That's fine, Eric. You're a fetus. You tried your best. I don't fault you. You weren't prepared to give a birth year, but you were prepared to lie about the age. I will give that to you. We got our next guest loading in here right now. No fetuses. No fetus. No fetus. Bad fetus. Very bad fetus. Very bad fetus. Moving on. Here we go. All right. Continue to spam MAGA, by the way. Okay, just keep it up.
Aaron, thank you so much for the $20. Thank you so much for keep blessing these soft heads with your knowledge. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Aaron. Thank you so much.
Here we go. Our next guest is loading in right now, you guys.
Oh,
hello,
sure.
hello, Lyron. Did you vote for Trump?
I had just like one quick question for the.
That means nope. We are just looking for people that voted for Trump.
Vote Trump?
Hello. I just want to say why you think it's.
That means nope. Moving on to our next guest. I apologize for kicking you guys. I feel like please, you guys. I don't like kicking people like that. It actually makes me feel bad, and I'll just like politely ask you guys to not join in the queue unless you voted for Trump, because then I will have to do that less. And like I really hate doing that. We got our next guest loading in right now, everybody. So do just give us a minute. Someone in the comment section says, "Dean, stop lying. You like it?" No, I actually don't. I don't like it. Like, you know, I don't like it. Moving on to our next guest here, you guys. Everybody just give us a minute. Reagan, please join. Reagan, who just commented liberals for Trump, please join.
That's so cringe.
Well, their bio says they're from Oklahoma, so it honestly checks out if you ask me. But we're going to get our next guest up in here as we speak. Continue to spam mag if you want to come up. Let's see what we got here. Joy, please join. Please join, Joy. I'm like literally begging you guys to join, man.
Dude.
Hey, how old are you?
I'm 16.
You're a fetus, get out. Reagan, hello.
Hey, hi.
So you're a liberal that voted for Trump?
No, I'm Republican.
Okay. Do you want to tell me why you voted for Trump? Is that a fair question?
Wait, can I just ask a question first? I'm sorry. This is mainly why I wanted to join up.
Yeah, after one moment. Christian, thank you for the $1 on Venmo. And then Anonymous, thank you so much for the $10 on PayPal. Everybody, please show some love to Anonymous down below in the comment section right now. It means the world. Thank you so much, Anonymous. And Jalen, thank you for the $1 on PayPal. And Sonia with a $10 on Venmo. And Rainey with a $5 on Venmo. Sonia says, thank you for doing the Lord's work. And Rainey says, after I started listening to you every day, my fiance went from an undecided voter to Kamala Harris supporter. Rainey, that is awesome to hear. Super base. Thank you so much for your support.
Stella, thank you so much for the $2. I appreciate it, Stella.
And she, like, I was going to let her ask her question, but that's not what happened. Okay. Zach, I want to ask you a question.
Sure.
You just said in the comment section that I'm avoiding you. How pompous and fucking arrogant do you have to be to genuinely believe that I was avoiding you, one of the 10.1 thousand people watching the stream?
100%. Super fucking arrogant, as you can tell. But let's get to the conversation.
Did you vote for Trump?
I did.
And why is that?
Because I think he's heralding the progressive revolution that I would hope that you guys would stop obstructing.
So Trump for progressivism?
Trump for actual systemic change.
Well, I mean, I would say that no, he is absolutely rooted in conservatism. I mean, this is shown given his more traditional beliefs, wanting to hold towards a more conservative Supreme Court, give more rights to the states, regressing back to like Reaganomics, same thing with other like social change, putting the God back in school, Bibles in school, Christian nation. And as like it is a true dichotomy, conservatism or progressivism, and those two things are opposite of one another. I don't think that you could possibly.
Dean, you're
apply
just
the label
forgetting that it's
progressivism to
progressive to be held civilly liable of sexually abusing women and to like brag about, you know, walking into their changing rooms without their consent.
Red herring. Red herring. Yeah, stop the progress because he did things. Which, by the way, Joe Biden is literally. 1 second. Joe Biden was literally accused of digitally penetrating a woman in 1993 in the Capitol building.
So we're talking about held civilly liable. So Joe Biden wasn't the candidate. So we're talking about held civilly liable. Also, Joe Biden wasn't the candidate. And then, as it relates to this, what particular types of progression are you saying
Also, you're talking about
voting for a guy that was held civilly liable of sexually abusing a woman?
Also, Tara Reid accused Joe Biden of that in 1993. She couldn't hold a consistent story. Her lawyer dropped her as a client, and then she fled to Russia and joined a misinformation campaign. But now please do respond to Parker's question.
Yeah, and Reid Hoffman funded Jade Carroll's thing.
Yeah,
I mean,
Gene Carroll. Yeah, and by the way, I personally know one of
a consistent dialogue about her thing either. I mean, this is just.
I personally know one of Reid Hoffman's. I personally know one of Reid Hoffman's undermen that specifically worked on that case where he did help fund E. Jean Carroll to bring litigation against Donald Trump. He was a great guy. I met him and talked to him. And the reason that he did that was to literally help a true American patriot inform the most people as possible on exactly who they supported, exactly who they voted for, and exactly who is our president. Reid Hoffman doing that was an act of genuine public service, and we should all be thankful for him.
Okay. So let's assume, by the way, that you're right. Let's assume that he did the thing that he was accused of doing. So I would go to a base premise that I have on politics because I grew up in the Clinton era, which is that I don't think that if you compare Clinton, a deeply sexually immoral human being, with George W. Bush, who went to bed every night with his longtime wife at 9 o'clock, I don't think that you could argue that George W. Bush, because of his better sexual morality, was somehow a better president. He wasn't. John F. Kennedy was a better president than a whole bunch of.
Wait, are you comparing like sexual assault to adultery?
If you're not aware of the various sexual assault accusations against Bill Clinton.
Yeah, Bill Clinton was a bad guy.
Yeah, wait, do you understand that there's a civil liability case with Trump, right?
Again,
Do you accept the civil liability case in typical?
The degree in which political witch hunts go in terms of the legal system is literally just a question of will and money and political desire. It has nothing to do with the facts of the case, as we know, because there's
even though Trump's a multi-billionaire.
People who get railroaded every single day about things that they didn't do in court. This idea that you are going to have some sort of like high horse.
Wait, you said that money was an advantage, but Trump is the one who's a multi-billionaire, and E. Jean Carroll does not have billions of dollars. I don't know what you're talking about.
Reid Hoffman.
Yeah. Right. Did she get billions of dollars from Reid Hoffman?
You'd have billions of dollars to run $1 billion campaign.
Did you know that Trump actually has a higher net worth than Reid Hoffman?
It doesn't really make any difference at that amount of money.
It does. Wait, you just argued that the reason why there was a distinction was the money, and now there's not a distinction off the money. So which is it? Tell me.
When you're in the billions of dollars, there's no distinction as to how much.
So then why'd you bring that up as a distinction then, Zach?
Money makes a distinction between someone who has no money and someone who is a billionaire. That makes.
You're talking about someone who's a billionaire being held civilly liable of sexual abuse.
Between two billionaires,
they both had probably the same amount of funding. They realistically, E. Jean Carroll and Donald Trump had similar amounts of funding.
Yeah. So then, are you arguing that money is a distinction, or it's not a distinction here, then, Zach?
Between two billionaires, it's not a distinction.
Okay. So then, why'd you bring it up as the basis of why you don't accept the case?
No. What I'm saying is that the legal system responds to money. I was making a broader statement.
Okay. Can I ask you a question? What's one piece of evidence within the E. Jean Carroll case that you dispute?
It's not. First off, I just listened to her talk with Leeds in a cabin for like 2 hours the other day. And if you have actually ever heard her discuss this situation and heard her discuss Trump,
I'm asking. Wait, what's the piece of evidence?
I think you'd be a little less convinced. I think you'd be a little less.
What is the piece of evidence you dispute, Zach? That was a nice way of not answering the question.
Yeah, my belief on sexual assault charges is the only reason you should ever doubt a woman is if there is a clear benefit to be had from the accusation. That's the only thing. And I would say,
what is the piece of evidence you dispute?
Piece of evidence.
I
dispute the sort of surety by which you discuss the case when she couldn't have any sort of surety about almost any detail related to the case.
Wait, can I just
wait? So Reid Hoffman. By the way, Reid Hoffman funded the case. Are you saying that Reid Hoffman funded the case to make money?
No, I think.
What did she have to gain?
No, Reid Hoffman is the largest Democratic donor in the tech world, and I think he funded a case against Donald Trump to keep him from being a viable political opponent. Which is
so. Why did she do this?
again, I don't really want to get into E. Jean Carroll because the whole point
is $4. Thank you so much.
Detail that takes us away from the actual issue here.
Oh, no, the actual issue being that you voted for a guy held civilly liable of sexually abusing women who constantly degrades women, brags about walking into changing rooms with naked teenage girls because he quote unquote owns the place, said he would date a 10-year-old girl in 10 years. So you can just remove yourself from the impact of this because you just remove yourself from things that negatively impact women. That's what you're doing. You're not taking into account things that negatively impact women, and you're like, oh, because it doesn't negatively impact me, it's not as big of a deal. And I can vote for someone who's done these things that to degrade women, engage in violence towards women, because it doesn't impact me. Now, that's a disgusting thing to say.
Dean.
Yeah.
Oh, he doesn't want to respond to that. He doesn't want to respond to that.
No, listen. I'll talk. I can respond to you if you want me to respond to you.
It's up to Zach. It's up to you. If you want to respond to Parker and then I could speak, go for it. I understand.
Just quickly, because I want to hear out what you want to say, and I'll respond to it without sort of like losing.
He's going to use it to not respond to what I'm saying.
No. I don't think. I think that even if you're 100% right, and even if it is damaging to women that he's the deeply imperfect rapper that we have for this revolution, I still don't think that the harm outweighs the possible.
So promoting grape culture and removing women's access to abortion and bragging about cheating or sexually assaulting women and walking into their changing rooms, that is just not enough harm, is what you're saying.
I think
what more harm would you think is going to be caused otherwise?
I think it's a bipartisan quality of men that needs to be dealt with. I just don't think it has necessarily.
Are you saying you have the same qualities as Trump?
No, what I'm saying is
so it's not a bipartisan thing. I don't have those same qualities. Dean doesn't have those same qualities, right? Kamala Harris doesn't have those same qualities. What about Kamala Harris was so bad that Donald Trump specifically, and despite all of these things that we just mentioned about him, is a better candidate?
Now I'm done with this conversation. Harry, I'm sorry.
Okay.
What?
I've made my point, which is that I don't think it's the issue worth discussing. I want to discuss something else. I assume Harry has something, or Dean has something else to say. I'm sorry.
Yeah, for sure. But before I do, I'd like to thank Ariana. Holy crap. Ariana, thank you so much for the $100 on Venmo. That is insane. Thank you so much, Ariana. Ariana says, I love watching your stuff. You've inspired me to become more informed about politics. Ariana, that is so incredibly kind of you. And I really appreciate you. Please show some love to Ariana down below in the comment section. I want to see at least 1,000 W's. $100 donation is fucking insane. I do not deserve that, and I'm very appreciative. Thank you so much, Ariana. But yeah, so I wanted to say something. Like, I think that, like, when we are, like, weighing presidential candidates, we do weigh how much harm they're going to cause compared to how much good they're going to cause, and if that balance makes sense. Like for instance, I did this in the last election with Kamala Harris and the harm that she caused in Palestine, right? And I weighed that against how I think that Donald Trump will cause more harm to Palestine. So overall, it makes sense to vote for Kamala Harris within that regard. And I hear the argument that you're making. You're saying, well, even if Donald Trump did grape E. Jean Carroll, and even if that will cause harm through grape culture, you still ultimately think that the good outweighs the bad. But I'm not so sure that any person that could sit in the executive branch of our government could outweigh that bad. The harm caused by the emboldening of grape culture, by removing social consequences for grapists, limiting their opportunity to scale and grow and to be successful, and then actively rewarding those actions by voting them into the Oval Office, is a level of harm that I don't think that you as a man could like really understand. But I want to give you an opportunity at least. This means that you think that you will see great outcomes of a Trump presidency that will promote a very high level of good for America. So explain to us what you think Trump will do that will be good for our country.
So first I want to explain how I got, because I'm two-time Obama voter, Hillary voter, Bernie voter, who strongly supports this movement because I think that it aligns with what we sort of all have wanted as progressives, which is deep systemic change. I think that the people...
Let me hear your argument, man. I want to hear you out.
Yeah. So in 2016, I had a very clear thesis about Donald Trump, which is that he was a lifetime Democrat who we self-righteously left alone with the worst far-right ideologues in the room. And because of that, we suffer. We suffer because instead of, kissing the ring and playing real politics, We decided to leave him alone with the worst people in the room. And so we got 3 far-right judges, right? And so Roe versus Wade happened. So I actually think that the damage comes from not playing real politics and instead self-righteously.
He wants us to kiss the ring of Donald Trump. That's disgusting, dude.
I know. It really is, but you're not answering my question, man.
He's not telling us what's so bad on the side of the left.
No, I can. Well, first off, I can do both. I can tell you what I think is the benefits that are coming, and I can tell you what I think is really dangerous on the left.
Yeah, I want to know the benefits that are coming from a Trump presidency. And Abigail, thank you for the $15 on Venmo. Abigail says, thank you and Parker for being the voices of our generations. I appreciate you so much for the love, Abigail. Everybody, please show some love to Abigail down
Stephanie,
below.
thank you so much. I appreciate the $5. Thank you so much. Sarah, thank you for the $10. Hannah, thank you for the $4. And Stella, thank you for the $3.
And then also,
thank you.
for you to say that Trump was a Democrat in 2016 is laughable. He was actively perpetuating the birther myth against Barack Obama, as well as standing against a presidency in 2010, right? But I want to know what he's going to do that's going to be.
Daughter was best friends with Chelsea Clinton. He's a New York City. And New York City Democrats have varying, levels of liberalism. But the truth is that he'd spent his entire life around Democrats, in democratic culture, around gay people, around black people. This is not a country bumpkin from Idaho who suddenly
called all black people lazy in 1991, affirmed that something he said in 1997, called for the death penalty for the exonerated Central Park Five,
which everyone who thought that they were guilty of the crime that they had been accused of would have said a very similar thing.
He did this during the presidential debates in 2015, 10 years after they were exonerated.
It's 100% correct that he was wrong in that instance. 100% correct that he was wrong in that instance. I think he would even say that.
No, he won it. He was asked about it in 2015, and guess what he said? He said they were guilty 10 years after the exoneration.
I want to hear from him, what's so bad about Kamala Harris that exceeds the bad things that we've recognized here with Trump.
So you guys know what's happening in London over the last couple of years, right? Or in England, right? So, people are being literally knock on the door, arrested at night for posts on social media.
Push the galaxy.
Yeah,
so much. What does that have to do with Kamala Harris?
I think that is the clear move towards the fascism that I think the Democratic Party was moving in.
What, dude, wait, so you think that out of the candidates, the one who's more likely to meet the conditions for fascism is Kamala Harris over Donald Trump?
Oh my God.
I think generally fascism doesn't happen when someone's so charming that we make them king. It happens when one side identifies an evil that is so pernicious that we can use undemocratic means.
You used an example.
Yeah, like how Donald Trump advocated to put people in prison for a year for burning the American flag.
Exactly. You used an example of imprisoning people in the UK for free speech and saying that is the direction of fascism that the left is moving towards.
And then Donald Trump's the one that supports that, and Kamala Harris is so no support. Give me one example of Kamala Harris doing that.
Yeah, but then Donald Trump literally supports imprisoning people for freedom of expression.
No, that's not at all.
The Supreme Court disagrees.
I'll literally play the video of him saying that. Don't fucking
So you're saying
gaslight me. He absolutely said that. I'll play it right now.
That for just saying something he disagrees with, you should go to jail.
No, he reaffirmed on countless occasions that specifically, if you burn the American flag, you should be sent to prison for a year. That's what he said explicitly.
So that's fine. That's a fair take for someone to have.
No, it's not, because it's unconstitutional and violates our First Amendment. Do you understand that the Supreme Court ruled in the 1970s? Do you understand that the Supreme Court ruled in the 1970s that burning the American flag is protected under the First Amendment right to freedom of expression? And if you care about silencing people's voices, if you care about silencing people's expressions, and that's literally what you label as fascism current day in the UK, how can you then turn around and say, well, it's a fair take just because Donald Trump is now calling for it? Your issue is not that the left is genuinely advocating for fascism. Your issue is that this is something that we most predominantly see on the right, when we could give you a crystal clear example of Donald Trump advocating for something that is identical to what the UK is doing that you called fascist, but just because it's Donald Trump, you say it's a fair take. It makes no goddamn sense.
First off, I don't think that's necessarily. I don't think that writing a post on social media is the same as burning the symbol of the country that you live in. I don't think
it is under the eyes of the law, under the eyes of our Constitution, under the eyes of expression of feelings, beliefs, and attitudes. It is.